Hello and welcome to the Shineshare Podcast, hosted by me, Junebug, and Benny.
Hello.
Today is our debut, so we'll kind of introduce ourselves, introduce the project, and then go from there. So first we'll start off with Benny. How about you introduce yourself to the people?
Hey guys, I'm Benny, better known as many people like to call me BennyhaTM. Weirdly enough, and I stream mostly on Twitch. Stream Mario Kart. I've been alternating between that and Pokemon recently. And that's really about all I do. I post on YouTube sometimes as well.
Beautiful.
That's about all I got.
As for me, I mostly post on YouTube myself, over on Junebug MK8D on YouTube. Gonna begin to start post more videos on Mogi or Lounge, but I've been recently doing a series with a friend known as the Coke Cup, so maybe more on that later, but a different friend, but it'll be there. But as far as this is concerned, this is the Shineshare Podcast, a shiny hunting podcast where we share our feelings. And today, we'll be shiny hunting for Gligar.
I'm just a little guy.
It's a very beautiful blue shiny.
I never actually think I've had a shiny Gligar, when I think about it.
I haven't had one in the normal games. But it's a very good shiny. But
I've got one in like ROM hacks I've played and stuff, but
sure.
outside of that, it's been pretty bland for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do some shiny hunting, but I mostly do egg hunting. I mostly hatch Pokemon, use the Masuda method, maximize my odds, and I'm fine with that. But here, it's more fun to run around.
I mean, that's what I did for a bit. I thought, because I really wanted a little Coco friend, so I tried to Masuda for him, and let's just say I got bored. Running around whatever that city's called.
Fair enough.
We'll deal with one with Iona, I think her name is.
Yeah. Looks like my Pokemon are very, very scared of attacking all these Pokemon right now.
Oh, my little pal is just going psycho on these guys. Oh, just kidding.
Yes. Well, we could start off by talking about Mario Kart a little bit, because that's kind of our background. Mario Kart is probably my second favorite thing to Pokemon. So
I would agree, yeah.
I recently joined Lounge as of the end of September. So I'm a very recent player into it, but I've been playing Mario Kart for pretty much my whole life since it came out on the Wii.
I was playing it on the oh, what is it? The 3DS. I got that along with Auras. I didn't play it a lot, but when I did play it, it was a blast. I would always like remember one time specifically we had like a school field trip and I snuck my 3DS onto the I snuck it onto the bus.
Fair
Also,
enough.
have I never caught this guy? Oh. I may or may not have just like jumped into a story animation on accident.
Well, that's okay.
Just something I forgot to do.
Fair enough. Yeah, I did get all my DLC Pokemon. I beat all the DLC in here. I got my completed Pokédex in both.
I thought I got most of it done, but I guess not.
Yes. Well, speaking of lounge, we had a very good squad queue today.
Oh yeah. I had fun. I didn't perform great, but I did have a great time.
It was good. I think for me, it was good. I've had a very rough few.
Wait, you performed really.
Yes, I got a 104, which was pretty good.
I forget what I scored. I think it was like 87, 88, somewhere in that range.
Pretty sure it was 88, which is still very good. It's respectable. That was good.
I've been in lounge for a few months too long.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you in any other seasons other than the most recent?
Yeah, I was in the season, or the 2 seasons before this one. I had an account I lost access to, and then I have this one, so not a fun time, but
Yeah.
surely wasn't the worst. I will say it was a lot better in older seasons when not as many people, I'll say, were playing.
Sure. Yeah, because
It's kind of like living in like a small town, you know, or like everyone knows everyone, and
Yes, as someone from a small town, I know that feeling all too well.
oh, little Gligar friend here.
Yeah.
Accidentally ran into him.
Fine, I got a Bombardier coming after me now. Because, once again, my guys are a little shy. I have to, like, keep swapping them in and out in order for them to want to go after these Pokemon.
It's like my Gimmickle just like wants like to give death to all these guys, like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Keep in the wrong button here. But, how are you doing otherwise?
I'm doing alright. I worked my first shift in like a hot minute today. And, well, the day we're recording this, it's the Tuesday, but I did, in fact, have that shift today, and it was a good swing back into it, you know?
Yeah, it's nice to have those every once in a while.
And then I don't work again till Friday.
Beautiful. Yeah, myself,
long days off.
I just got wrapping up of my first semester of my second year, sophomore year of college. So I get to go back on that competitive Mario Kart grind for a little while, which will be very nice.
My grind is not gonna stop. I think I streamed for a cumulative like 8 hours today.
Yeah, you just kept popping your stream on and off. You're like, last one, I promise. And it was never the last.
The most recent one, my OBS was like tripping out, so I just restarted my entire computer, restarted OBS, and now that's how we are where we are now. Kind of like what I was saying before, my bitrate was, I think I said it was like what, 6K?
Sure.
Which is very high. Some would say that it is 4,000 bits too high.
It's fine. I am very bothered, though, at this seemingly laggy game at the moment. So I'm not seeing a lot of spawns. And then, when I do, my Pokemon don't want to attack them. So
I'm just staying in the middle of like a ton of them, and
I know.
my guy's just going at them all.
So I might deal with that later, but yeah. I mean, myself, I have a Twitch, but I don't use it very much. I think I maybe used it like once or twice, but I mostly just have it there just to watch people such as yourself.
Streams are entertaining, some may say. We have fun, I'd say, like 95% of the time. The other 5% is people coming in trying to get rage bait.
Kind of just what you have to expect nowadays. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there's always gonna be one person that thinks that they're so funny.
Definitely.
I love how Gligar doesn't fly towards you; he just walks.
Yeah. He'll only lie to you if you're like below on a hill, which is a very like different checkbox to get. It's very hard for them because they're always walking.
I just looked at one that was just digging his head in sand, and I was like,
yeah.
Volibai's another one that is like really cute. I like Volibai too. Mandibuzz, not my favorite.
Fair enough.
These bomb burners, they're always coming for me, like.
But I don't know. Do you do any schooling?
Yeah, I mean, I just last Thursday took my final for my class, and I only took one class this last semester. I tested out of the other ones, but
Sure.
the one class I took, I got a B+, so I'm not gonna complain at all for my first college course. Technically my second if you consider the one I took in my last year of...
Sure.
Oh my goodness. I keep getting these Switch notifications saying like that Gyarados is online.
Popular man.
I think I've gotten like 5 in the last like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think I've gotten any.
I wonder what this guy could be doing.
He's got a lot of friends. Popular guy.
I think he's the only one, honestly.
Fair enough.
Usually it's him and Opal. Opal is always the one that's just hopping in and offline.
Yeah.
Because 1 minute he'll say, "Oh, I don't want to play," and I'll be like, "Oh," kind of like me with Fortnite last night. Oh, just one more, just one more.
And we did that one more. And we did win.
That means since I don't work tomorrow, we gotta end on a win tonight.
Exactly.
Right, guys? Awkward laugh.
But we did win, luckily, so you were able to get to sleep.
And I woke up just so I could stream this morning.
Just to go back to the grind.
Which was good. I like doing like semi-early streams on days where I work for like the EU viewers. I've got a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my best friends, Minia. She's German, so it's nice to get that early stream for her.
Yeah, I agree. As someone who does mostly recording, like I kind of like the little bit of the unedited style, which is kind of why I enjoy recording the Mario Kart matches, because I kind of just get the whole race in full and then move on to the next. But I always like that reassurance of having the recording just in case. So I guess as a streamer, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's good to know it's always there. And, like, honestly, I know that there are most content creators that'll be like, I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but I know that there are a few where it's like, oh, I had a bad race, like, this one's not going to be a video, but, like, granted, all my videos have been, like, good events as well, so I can't really say much, but I feel like it's good in a sense to be a streamer and just have the content there.
Right.
Especially for like reviewing, like, oh, this is what I did wrong and this is what I did right.
Yeah, for me, I mostly use it as like a VOD review whenever I get to record. It's been a little minute since I've recorded a proper lounge match, but now that I have more time to kind of focus on it, probably do that more too. Just because I like looking at it to watch me and help me improve. And if someone just so happens to watch, then that's great. But I also like the reassurance of the recording, knowing that if something happens, I can deal with it.
You got the evidence there.
Yeah. So it's like I like to be live, but like not live.
It's a bit of a so-so type moment.
Yeah. Because as for myself, I'm very like... I'm trying to get better at callouts and stuff like that, or just talking in general, if I were to do any content. Because I'm a very, like... quiet when it comes to focus.
Control.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of just... my mind's on the game. Maybe like in a day where it's a normal one without a voice call, I would just have some music going on while still listening to the game. Because world widing is another thing that I very much enjoy doing, because it feels very similar to this shiny hunt where I'm kind of mindless, maybe not as mindless, but you're not trying to score every VR.
Yeah.
Compared to your MMR. Like...
where if you lose, you take like a big toll.
yeah. Yeah, I just kind of like the calm vibe. Trying to get better. Especially now
I've been
that...
also trying to get better.
yeah. It's kind of why I like the recording, so that way I can add some stuff if I ever needed it. But as like a streamer, I would have try and struggle and try and bring things up. And, you know, it can be a lot to try and keep up that energy, especially if, like you said, you were streaming for up to 8 hours. Maybe not back to back, but you know.
Yeah. Like if I do have like long days where I'm streaming a good amount, I like, even if it's like one long stream, I try to break the stream up into several parts.
Yeah.
Or like, alright, I'm gonna throw on some music, and then when I come back, we'll just run a few worldwides until the next event.
Yeah. Yeah, I think world widing is probably one of my favorite just chill activities to do. Especially just doing it often in a voice call.
That's what makes it fun, especially when you've got people like Glitch in the Magikarp server where he is always trying to target you, no matter what position you're in.
Exactly. But then it's mutual where you get to target them back, and then you get to hear all the banter live. So that's very, like, fun.
That's why I was a bit late to the call today. I just like to like if I'm in a call with someone and I'm live, I like to try to make sure that my viewers can hear it.
Right. My shiny Skarmory is going to work now.
I haven't had to switch my Goldango around once, so
Yeah, I've had to swap him a little bit just because of the thing where they're being a little stubborn, but it's okay.
I wonder if Fluttermane can get the job done.
Yeah, I'm kind of presenting my mono steel that I had kind of cooked up for just my own deal, just because I enjoy making mono-type teams. They're very fun every once in a while. Like, speaking of teams, we've gotten back into competitive Pokemon.
Yeah, I just recently made my own team, which is new for me. That's why I was like honestly shocked when you and I went against each other and it was like, wait, what? I like actually won?
Yeah. I'm definitely out of practice, but I do love the competition. And I think with this most recent format, without all the legendaries and hard Pokemon to get perfect IVs with, it'll be very rewarding to make a team. Especially when there's a lot of new Pokemon that can shine like they've never done before. Like, if we take Wolfiglick, the VGC GOAT, having Yanmega on a team and performing pretty decent.
I saw the Yanmega in the thumbnail and I was like, there's no way, right?
And you know what? You made it work.
To everyone's surprise.
Speaking of Wolfie, he won with his favorite, Paris Trap, in the Toronto Regionals.
I've always been a big fan of like watching the Paris Trap,
Yeah.
but never been able to like actually get a team that works around it. Even though it's probably not that hard.
Yeah, I think like on paper it can seem like intimidating, and then in practice you're like, wait, it is actually very intimidating. Because you have to do a lot of planning and a lot of sequencing just like the perfect way. But Wolfie just does it the best than anyone else, and I know he claims that. And he has evidence to show for it as the best Paris Trap user. I think after the kind of spread around the internet a little bit, there's this clip, I can't remember the original streamer who did it, so I feel a little bad. But I think they're playing on the regular ladder in-game, and then it showed Wolfie's name, so like, oh, Wolfie! And then it's, oh, Wolfie con Paris. And it's just so demotivated by seeing Wolfie with Parrish, because he knows his time is over. And I don't know if you've seen the images of Wolfie's team, but he had a pretty interesting pose for his little display. I'll have to present that to you in a little bit, but it's very interesting. But Wolfie's great. I love watching him. I think it's great that he is a pretty successful content creator, like over 1 million subscribers. Like, that's still great, even in the current context where there's so many people watching around. And he makes great videos, and I enjoy his insight.
it's just good. Well, he's the one guy that I throw on at the end of the day when I'm winding down, trying to go to bed. So
Yes, as much as I like.
because
the-
again,
Yeah. Go ahead.
it kind of brings like a sort of vibe on this childhood game that you never thought you'd be able to see growing up, and then oh, ladder system.
Yeah. I mostly play the trading card game. That one I go to some local tournaments and play with myself.
Yeah,
So that's where,
I just got into it.
yeah.
Like I had it downloaded, but
Now's a very interesting time. I think if you want to take it back to Toronto Regionals, we're at the point where the deck that so they usually show their top 8, right? 6 of the top 8
yeah.
was Regidrago, V-Star, which that deck is now paired with Ogrepon EX. So
I love
Ogrepon,
Gligar. I think
yes,
he's just a cute little guy.
she is a very, very cute Pokemon. And very scary Pokemon too. Powerful in the video game, especially that Hearth Flame. But also very strong as Teomask in the trading card game. Because their trading card game ability is you can attach an energy from your hand to Ogrepon EX and draw a card, which is pretty good. And then Regidrago has their attack where it's a grass, fire, and then I think it's either another grass or a colorless, but it's 3 energy to use any dragon type attack from your discard pile. So you get to grab all the little fire types, or the dragon types, excuse me, in the format, and just keep using their attacks for free, which that kind of archetype has always been good in the trading card game.
I mean, I can only imagine.
And when it first came out, it was not great because there really wasn't a lot of energy acceleration with it. And maybe not the greatest dragon types, but now there's some pretty good dragon types that you can use with it. 2 notable ones for people informed are something like Dragapult EX, which just does some good spread damage. And then there's the newest Kyurem, which also does pretty good spread damage. And then there's other good dragons. But the main difference is now with Ogrepon, you attach it from your hand as an extra energy per turn, and then you have a card, an item card for energy switch. So you can switch the energy onto your Regidrago. So it's like you're doing energy acceleration, and it's nice. So it's like pretty much clearly like the best deck right now. Myself,
I can only imagine.
yeah. So it's a lot to explain, but to keep it as light as possible. That's kind of the gist. But as far as the deck that I've been running, I mean, as a player, you like to dabble with a bunch of different decks, especially when it's online. But in person, I'm running the powerful Charizard EX, the Dark Terra. It's a very, very intimidating deck. This one, it does 180 damage for 2 fire energy, and it does 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So, it's a card that gets so much better when the longer the game goes, which is always good. usually it's paired up with this Pidgeotty X, which its ability is, once during your turn, just search for any card you want and put it into your hand. Which is crazy.
I think it's time for another sandwich.
It is just about that time. Alright, where are you?
I started seeing Nose Pass, and I was like, whoa.
There you are. I'm gonna come to you. But yeah. There's a bunch of combo with the deck. And then in one of the recent sets, Shrouded Fables specifically, it's gotten a bunch of great new kits. There's this Dust Noir and Dusclops that has an ability, which is a regular one prize Pokemon. It's ability that says knock it out and do either 50 damage or 130 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, which is really good to get that snipe out there, and you get to do more damage if you put it on your active. And
You gotta back out again. I hit the button.
oh my lord. That's fine.
It's so tempting. Like, I can't just
I know.
resist.
Alright, I'm ready when you are. But so since it knocks itself
Oh,
out,
I hit the
you did it one more time?
button again.
We'll run it back. I'm ready for you.
I'm gonna press it and then just put my controller down.
Perfect. But since it knocks itself out, you power up your Charizard. Alright, I'm putting on ketchup. And then you can put on your spices.
I forgot the spices. No.
Which one did you do? Did you do the ketchup though?
I did the ketchup.
That's okay. I will do the spices then. Then I'll do the spices.
I also love how everyone is sending in this server. They're all sending this new Marshadow card.
It looks very good for Pokemon Pocket. We can talk about Pokemon Pocket. It's I think it's a great game. I think it's a good game to get into the Pokemon trading card game with. Now, it's all digital, so it doesn't really link up with the physical game. But it's a great way to just get that. It's a beautiful game for opening cards. So if you're someone who doesn't like the battle, but just wants to experience the opening of cards, that's exactly it. Coming from...
Speaking of which, I should probably open mine.
Yes, as of recording this, they just released their second set. So, this is where that Marshadow card would have came from. As for myself, I do like battling. So of course I made myself a Mewtwo EX deck, which is pretty good. Alright, and then I'll pack
You
up.
all done picnicking? Yeah.
Sure are. And we got our last sandwich to run with.
Alright, let's go Goldango. Let's be productive.
That's what I'm saying.
And see if we can actually get one and break this curse. Let's do it while I'm opening the pack.
Mm-hmm. But Pokemon Pocket's great. We love Pokemon Pocket. People are loving it. It's great. The main conflict is Pokemon, the trading card game live. It's a very cruel joke. Because we used to have something great. It was the Pokemon trading card game online. It was a nice client, it worked well, it played well, cards were pretty, everything was great. And then we switched to live, which seemed very mobile centered and kind of reduced a bunch of things, such as there is no X and Y or black and white cards. They're saved on your account if you were to transfer any over from Pokemon Online, but you can't use them yet, and it's been a while. So that's already a great mistake for especially the expanded format, which uses all the cards. But there's so much glitches and cards that just end up not working. So sometimes, especially like weeks before tournaments when people are trying to test decks and what's the most optimal, you can't use certain cards, so it's really hard to test. And it's a very buggy client. So overall, the community is kind of just upset at the live game. But it's our only option if we're going to play with the physical cards online, unfortunately. But that's okay. This is why we play the game physically anyway.
Have a picnic, why not? Water Vista, Choodle, Stonejourner, Scolipede. Pretty weak.
But do you collect any Pokemon cards?
I used to have like this big. I would just throw them all in a bin. Well, I used to have a binder, and then the pages started falling out of the binder, and I was like, oh, I want to hold on to these. So then I switched to just throwing them all in that bin.
The Pokemon bin?
Or I kept all my fun cards. But if it was like an EX or a GX, then... Ooh, Goldingo, that's not the right way. I would put it in like its own separate little place.
Fair
Just
enough.
like not hidden away, but
Not
I
in the-
still have in my wallet. It's kind of hiding behind my my driver's license. If I can,
Yeah.
I think I have it like on standby.
Yeah, we love the cards by license or in phone cases is another very popular place where I see people keep a card, their favorite card.
I have a Mewtwo and Mew EX tag team.
Yep, that's one of the other decks that was very good in the same style as Regidrago, as it had an ability that allowed it to use any basic Pokemon's attacks from the discard. Most people would tie it with, at the time, would have been these powerful fire-type tag teams, because there was a lot of fire-type support at the time. So it only made sense to use it for fire-type. And it was good for the fact that it hit for psychic weakness on things instead of fire.
Yeah.
Because at the time, hitting with a psychic Pokemon was pretty good. And also, just you had some nice psychic support on top of that, so you could use both at once, which was crazy.
It's also a World Championship 2019 card.
It sure is. And that's a deck
So
that
I've had this
I
had
have.
this card for a hot minute.
That's one of the decks that I have, because I did enjoy collecting those championship decks, especially as a player, because then I can just use it as like a retro and go back and just play those decks and be like, this is how good we used to have it. And now the format is so speedy, it's almost like Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's just Yu-Gi-Oh! If Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a few hard drugs in their system, you know?
Yeah, it's just a new coat of paint. And as a Charizard player, I'm a part of the problem.
I have a shirt that says, "Don't be part of the problem, be the whole problem." And it has like an alligator on it.
Amazing.
I used to wear it to like swim meets when I swam, and I mean, it was okay. It wasn't. Granted, I did wear it most when I was like 16, but
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't do any swimming myself, but my sport of choice was soccer. I did a lot of soccer.
my brothers play a lot of soccer religiously. Some may even say.
I was always a defense. It's kind of where my vibe went. I also enjoyed bowling league.
I
And
love bowling. I'm not gonna say I'm good at it because I'm the furthest thing from good at it. But I'm gonna say I'm like terrible.
I'm good enough to hold my own in friends who enjoy bowling but don't do it a lot. So it's kind of all I need.
Any 300s when you were a big bowling guy?
No, most I got was probably just shy of 200. But for the time of juniors bowling, it was not too bad. Most recently, I fell in love with tennis. Is probably my last little sport that I would do.
You know, on that note, I played a lot of, at least this last summer, I got really into pickleball.
Pickleball is fun, traditionally known as the retirement sport. But most pickleball I played would have been just some enjoyment of it in like a high school gym class.
Yeah. I I just caught my first Gligar, so
Congrats. Yeah,
I keep going around and like I'm doing the thing with the left stick where like I hover over its name. I was like, wait, where's
yeah.
another game that I really enjoyed shiny hunting in was Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I love shiny chains.
I do think it was a very good aspect of that game. I think they did that well. I think it's a very pretty game. And it kind of is a cruel joke again that that is the prettiest one.
Should have been the Gen 3 Switch remix.
That would have gone crazy. Because you have talked about being a Gen 3 speedrunner, yeah?
Yeah. I was never really good at it. It was more of something I would do during my lunch and study hall periods, because alone were like study hall, and then right after that I had another study hall because I was in all these advanced classes.
Fun.
And so I would just like pull up a timer on my phone and see how fast I could beat the game. Never recorded it, which now I think about and I'm like, oh, I should have found some way to record on my school computer and post it to like speedrun.com.
Mm-hmm.
And just for fun this summer I downloaded it on my computer and it wasn't like a golden run, but it wasn't terrible.
No. I think there's only 2 games that I really submitted any speedrunning to. One would have been Mario Kart Wii. I did submit a 150cc 32 track, no item speedrun.
That seems like something I should do, honestly. But for 8 Deluxe.
Yes. I think I agree. I think
that would be
that.
something I do on stream one day.
Be a pretty nice long stream, because I think they have there's obviously 48. There's the DLC, and then you could do all 96 if you really are feeling bold.
If I did, it would have to be. I would probably not do all 96. There's too many tracks that I hate, and I would just get mad over.
Yeah, you would just have to clear your day just to quit halfway.
Sorry, guys. I've got a Mario Kart speedrun that day.
But that might be something that I would attempt as well.
I would do 48. I would do DLC. I think the DLC is great.
Yeah, I think they did a very good job with the DLC.
Like, I only realized that, like, the more I play it. I'm not even gonna say, like, that all the tracks are good. I could list maybe 3 or 4 of them that are just not good.
Yeah, I think they did a very good job. Especially with some stuff of, like, we'll take Mushroom Gorge, for example. If it was, like, a base game track, they very easily could have found some way not to let the gap jump happen. But the DLC seemed to be really into making shortcuts like that possible. Yo.
Shiny Gligar!
Alright, let me come your way. Right in the home stretch.
Oh, I was thinking earlier too, making the sandwich. I was like, damn, are we gonna do another double sandwich where
double Gligar?
I don't get a shiny Gligar?
Yeah.
And a little quick cap for the boys. And there we go.
Beautiful. Send that buddy out. So we still got 16-ish minutes of that sandwich, and once that's done, then we're done.
I'm gonna give it. I don't know what to name it. Blueberry.
I think that's great.
No, it's just gonna be Blue Shell. Blue Shell.
Blue Shell? Yeah, we were just on Mario Kart.
But I spelled blue wrong, so
that's okay. Alright, now put that buddy in your party so we can see him what he looks like. What a beautiful shiny.
Oh, he's just such a chill guy. How do you evolve Gligar? I kind of want to do that like after we finish recording.
I believe with the Razor
I think it's
Fang.
like a Razor. Yeah.
Razor Fang.
Which I may or may not have. It's probably in other items.
I know I have one for sure, but I don't remember if it needs to be a certain level before you would evolve with it.
Mine's 62, so I should be fine.
Yeah.
I have 23 bottle caps, which I don't think anyone needs that many of.
Have a look as well. So yeah, we go to our other items and then just scroll for a minute. Yep, there it is, all the way at the bottom, Razor Fang. I got 6. So it should be all the way at the bottom.
I have a Razor Claw, but not a Razor Fang.
Because Claw is for Weavile. Well, how about we use this 14 minutes to get our sandwich, and then we'll end by evolving our little Gligar there after I trade you a... I'll trade you a...
Put a little Magikarp on it.
Yeah, I'll trade you a Fang.
Oh, I want to battle this Gligar with my Gligar.
Beautiful. Well, but now that we got one, it's a good time to explain that it's not a podcast that ends once we get a shiny, but rather, in the context of Scarlet and Violet, we'll run 2 sandwiches, and then whatever happens, happens. and we just so happened to
Yes, of course.
get it in 1.5 sandwiches. Which means next episode we can begin to search for some other things. But now we're just going to use this time to see if we can get a second Gligar. Or any of the other flying types around the area. But we're focused on Gligar here today. Alright. But the jump back into Mario Kart.
Of course.
Yeah, I think a speed one would be great. I would be down to do it, or some subcategory where it's a little bit quicker. As far as speedrun.com, the other game that I speedran a little bit, I think I did a specific like cup or whatever. It's another racing game, because I'm someone who loves racing games. It's a really goat of a game on the Nintendo 64. Lego Racers.
Oh, yes.
Lego Racers is my favorite Nintendo 64 game. And it's not even close. I love Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Puzzle League is another great one. Both of those on the Nintendo Switch via the Nintendo Switch Online. But what's not there is Lego Racers. And Lego Racers 64 is such a fun game. I adore it very much, and I need it back in my life. And of course I have a 64 to play it with. But it would be so cool to get it back on the Switch, and then I could do some easier streaming with it, because I would jump on streaming that game instantly.
I never played it myself. I do remember, like, seeing people that would just, like, be playing around, messing around with it. But I was like, oh wow, I need to play this game. I asked for it for Christmas and then never got it, so.
Well, if the stars align, I'll definitely show it off to you. Because it's a very great game. Another 64 game that I doubt will get remade, but was very fun, was Beetle Adventure Racing.
Now that one is one that I personally have never heard of.
So it's a racing game, sponsored by Volkswagen, where all you do is race these fun courses with beetles. Beetle cars.
That just sounds fun.
That one I'll be sure to show off to you. But what was also fun is it had a very interesting battle mode. So the way the little battle mode worked is they had these unique battle maps that were like loops that you had to race around, and you had to collect a different, like a colored beetle. This one being the bug. So you would collect, looks like a little ladybug, so it's like a little beetle. And it would glow between like 6 different colors. And then you'd have to drive it and then time your driving so you collected each color. And then whoever collected all the colors wins. And that was very fun. And the racing was also good. I think the Nintendo 64 is by far one of my favorite consoles, just in general. I absolutely love just... it hits different, to say the least.
Well, of course. I mean, mine has to be the 3DS, simply because of the fact that it was just the first one I ever played on, so...
Yes.
It's more of like a nostalgia thing than like my actual enjoyment for the console.
Sure.
I'm not gonna say it was a bad console by all means. Like, I thought it was great, but I have played on better consoles. I have played on worse, obviously. So
Yeah. I think the 3DS for me was a lot of my start as well. I think I got a lot of my first console was the Wii. But my first, investment in gaming would have probably been surrounded by the 3DS. Because my first Pokemon game would have been X and Y. So I have that first game bias against X and Y. Because I enjoyed that game a lot.
I have the bias towards X and Y simply because of the anime.
Yeah. I thought they did a phenomenal job with X and Y anime.
I think I've seen it a lot more. Like, if you told 15-year-old me to not watch it again, they'd say no. I haven't watched it in a few years now. I think when I was like 16 or so was the last time I watched it, but
Fair enough. Yeah, I have not caught up with the anime myself. But
oh, I stopped watching after they got rid of Ash Ketchum.
yeah, I think I respect
So pretty
the new
much
one.
this season.
I think I respect the new one. I think it's very fun. But I've only watched a couple episodes myself. Now, I think I could get into anime, but there's not a lot what else I watch. But if we're going to circle back to card games, there's the One Piece card collection game that I got the chance to play a little bit with a friend recently, and the game is actually pretty fun to play.
Now they're actually on the card game note, obviously. There's a Discord bot called Karuta. It has some amazing card, it's not like a battle type game per se, but you can work to get the highest wishlist cards and stuff. It's called Karuta.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if anyone watching this has ever played it, but
I might have heard of it.
pretty much there's
Yeah.
there's high wishlist cards, and you collect them. They all have different values, there's a currency in it where you can buy new cards and stuff like that. So overall, great game. I played it for I actually just recently, I'm not gonna say I quit, I've just kind of become a little unattached to it. I've been really focused on streaming and my little YouTube career. I'm not gonna call it a full-time career, but me and my very high sub count on YouTube.
We'll call it a hopeful hobby.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. It's kind of like when you're a 13-year-old and you're streaming from your Xbox 360, Xbox One, and you're oh my gosh, I'm live on Twitch. Look at all these cool people in chat. And it's all just bots.
Yeah. Or it's your one guy.
It's your one friend from school that's also on his Xbox One and can see you're streaming from it.
But sometimes all you need is the one to get going. That one person is more important than people think. Just using that person to get some motivation and just know that I'm there for you. Especially as an early creator with a smaller audience, feels a little bit more rewarding to talk to a smaller group because you feel like you have a deeper connection. Which I know YouTubers I've watched, it definitely I think Markiplier had it on a podcast. He's a great YouTuber that I enjoy, and I think he's. I would say.
No, me too.
I think I would even just say creative content creator. He does so much more than YouTube. I think it's just discrediting just to call him a YouTuber. Like, he does so much more. But he described it as like it was like it hurt to know that he's gotten so big that he can't have that personal connection anymore. Or it's like it'll only be parasocial.
No, I agree. It's like that's another reason where like I have my Discord server, my community server, my Twitch, and it's like if you want to, please like come on in and just join the Discord, come say hi, let me get to know you. I mean, and it's not because of like, oh, I'm gonna like try to milk you out for your money. It's because I enjoy what I do, and I feel like a common stereotype for like streamers or like content creators, especially streamers, is like, please hit that subscribe button, like helps me out a lot, helps me like pay my mortgage and stuff. Like, I mean, that's just not what my main moral behind streaming is. I do it because it's something I enjoy and just all that.
It's like it helps me do more if you subscribe, but I'm not begging for your subscribe. And also, circling back, it's like it's just so very important to cherish those first people because they'll be there for you, or at least they have helped you start what would become. So it's very it'd be very good to just remember that and just cherish that community.
And again,
before
like,
like
going back to like my friend Minia from earlier that I was talking about, like I asked her, I was like, hey, if I started streaming, like, would you be interested? And she's like, oh, like, yeah, I mean, I can't do a lot on mobile, but I'll do what I can. Like, it's the small people where, like, the small group of people you start out with that will eventually go a very long way for you.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to keep those in your mind when knowing that someday if you get big enough you may not have it. So it's just good to focus on that.
To savor it while you can. And take like Gyarados for example, like great guy. I mod for him, but like it's to a point where he just hit 11,000 subscribers on YouTube today, on the day we're recording this. So, I mean, you gotta wonder if he still remembers some of the people that he had when he first started. So,
right.
Wow, that Gligar was in a very awkward spot for me to auto battle.
Looks like we got a couple seconds on our sandwich. And then we'll link up, and then we'll evolve our shiny since we have the ability to. And then that'll be that.
Alright, goodbye Gligar.
There he is.
He's just nice and grown up. Flip the camera. Let's take a little selfie. Rawr. Squirt's just a fun little guy.
Well, with that, that'll conclude today's segment of the Shineshare Podcast. Our information will be in the description below where you can find us and support us. But we will see you guys in the next one. and we're glad that we got our shiny. And
Yes.
thank
Thank
you
you
very
guys for
much.
popping in. Peace.
Thank you very much.